Well, this is just a brief rant about subtitles. Not their existence, but people that cannot handle subtitles. I've met a lot of people that have this deep, unresolved issue with subtitles, which bothers me intensely. Because subtitles are there so you can understand what's going on when things are in a language you don't understand. For me, it's simply as being Spanish. I mean, I know some Spanish, but I don't know enough Spanish to understand what's going on. And I don't know Japanese, which is my main subtitle watching genre because I watch anime, and so thus I need subtitles. But there's a lot of people out there that not that they can't see subtitles, but they don't like subtitles. For some reason I haven't fully understood. Something about being distracted from the film and what's going on, which, while being semi-legitimate, still isn't reason enough to sit there and watch something that's dubbed. It's just horrendous. You just should not watch things that are dubbed because they're just horrendous and horrible and almost always inaccurate. And that bothers me intensely because I'm a bit of a stickler for accuracy when it comes to language and what's being said. And so when they have to make the words match with the lips, they have to change what's going on. And when they don't match it with the lips, then you get 1980s Jackie Chan films, which, don't get me wrong, are amazing. But when the lips are not moving in sync with what's being said, I don't take this message at all seriously. So, back to my rant about how I cannot stand people that, on the basis of there being subtitles in a film, refuse to watch it. Because you're missing out on really good cinema, because foreign films are much more imaginative, much more original, because they don't have to stick to the trope that is American cinema. And don't get me wrong, I love American cinema, I do, but it doesn't mean that I don't see it being completely cliched and mostly unoriginal. Which it is, because we have very depicted genres, and we stick to them, and we make movies we know people will like, and we please audiences. Whereas foreign films and independents have a tendency to make films for the sheer fact of making a film, which I approve of much more greatly than most American films, who are just made to please the audience. And while they might not be as big, they're more interesting to watch, more fascinating, and more well done, and there's so much more to them. And so I'm big on foreign films, very pro foreign films. Foreign films are fabulous. I'm quite fond of German films actually because they have a tendency to be real off the wall, and Asian films also very off the wall. Kind of those. But so when people tell me that they can't watch this movie because it's subtitled, and they can't watch this anime, and they can't do this or they can't do that because it's subtitled, and they can't handle subtitles, I just kind of want to look at them, especially if they're Americans, and ask them if they've ever watched the news. And does that not bother you in the same way? Because if you're watching the news, there's like 4 bars of information going by at the bottom of the screen. But you can watch that, and that's entirely normal. And you're absorbing that information, but it doesn't really matter because it's always been there, and it's part of the news, and that's how that goes. It's not a movie, it's different. And I get really irritated. I get very irritated about that whole process because it makes you a hypocrite, and I'm not a fan of hypocrisy. So, general gist of this rant just being subtitles are fabulous, and everyone should deal with them, and shouldn't be like, oh my god, I can't watch this because there's a subtitle. Because it just happens. So you miss out on a whole bunch of excellent films, which is the general choice, or you can adjust your subtitles, which I recommend highly. So, I don't know, I guess it's the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter what I say, but I think you should like subtitles.